Hi, my name is Solomon Lancini. Welcome to another episode of Artopia 2024. Emily Cavanagh, emerging artist, will be conducting an interview in studio later for an intriguing segment about the creative arts.
Hi, my name is Emily Cavanagh. On today's episode, we interview Ronan Murphy. We look forward to learning about the film degree and what it is like at UniSQ.
Later in the episode, we also have a program informing us on the exciting and informative creative arts location in East Ipswich to allow emerging artists from the region to expand their skill set.
Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Ronan Murphy, a current UniSQ student majoring in film and screen production. Ronan, it's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So what is your experience in doing the film degree at UniSQ?
It's been a largely positive one. I started off in 2021 in my current degree, and from making our way up through stuff like location production, just getting our eyes around the cameras, getting used to the equipment, all the way up to third year where we've been working with major film. I've been having the time of my life in just putting together shots, sets, and working with some amazing people.
Yeah, so what made you decide to do film as a career path?
I've always had a draw to it as a child. I've always loved just dedicating an hour or two, maybe even three, just to sitting down and watching an old spaghetti western from the 60s, all the Italian works, even some of the modern Disney movies. There's something about it that can captivate emotion and just deliver it to you on a palette in a way that you wouldn't normally experience it. I mean, I can't remember the last time I dressed up in a gown and went onto the Bridgerton set. It's something I'm never going to be able to experience, but you can live vicariously through characters, and I'd like to be able to do that.
So what projects have you done in the past?
So I've had a couple of stints with short films here at UniSQ. So just last year we made a short film called Super Ash Fights Evil, which we had a nice little screening down in Limelight Cinemas, so that was the highlight of the year, applying to all of our vanity watching names scroll past the credits. But that was a little local shoot done over at Raceview, where we were doing a shoot about a girl with bipolar who starts to have a moment with her brother, and it starts to devolve into a massive fight between the two of them. I guarantee it's better than what I just made it sound, but I've been having quite a bit of fun with those productions, and a smaller production that went to Fox Sports back in 2018 called The Season, around the footy teams in and around the Ipswich region.
This is interesting. So you mentioned that you've done like short films and more like documentary work. What has been your favourite aspect of the chosen field?
I lean towards film because, like I was saying before, you can really curate the emotion within them. There's some responses that just do not happen too often in real life, and to be able to control almost every aspect of that and make what can be a heartbreaking or overjoyous moment is why I do it in the first place. I love to be able to put it together and generate a response in the audience.
So where do you hope this degree will take you in the future?
God willing, as many sets as I can get onto. One of my biggest wishes at the current point in time is to see how a large-scale set operates. Just some of your massive Hollywood blockbusters, some of the ones like San Andreas shot over on the Gold Coast, the opportunity to just dive into that set and just see how everything's done, even if it's just fetching coffees. That's where I want to go next.
Yeah, well, it's all very impressive, and it's excellent to be able to talk to you and get an insight into the world of film.
Much appreciated.
So thank you for sharing your insight into film and screen production. Speaking of Ipswich, we head east to interview Suzanne Matulich, Director of Arts Alive and Lorraine Kitching Adult Program at Arts Alive, and hear about creative arts and the impact it has on all ages.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Matulich, and I set up Arts Alive Creative Arts School 21 years ago to date this year, because there had never been, and still there isn't, an art school, a proper art school in Ipswich. Lots of workshops, lots of shops dealing with art materials, lots of galleries, but never an actual art school where we offer classes term by term, year by year, with quality education for little kids right up to people in their 90s. AA, Arts Alive, is going to always be at the top of the alphabet when people are doing promotion and they organise things alphabetically. So always an eye on promotion. So we've got over 70 students and have had pretty much 70 students for the last 3 or 4 years, except for COVID. My biggest struggle, explaining to people what an art school is, that it's not just a one-off workshop, that if people enrol with us, then it's either for a half term or a full term, and we do expect to get paid. We're not a charity. I think my biggest achievement would be running the school for 21 years in Ipswich, when a significant gallery director, when I said what I was going to do, he folded his arms and looked me straight in the eye and he said, good luck with that. And here we are 21 years later. In the future, I'm not sure that I would change much. This model has developed organically, works really well for this community, and I would like to see it just going on in the future, pretty much in the same way.
I'm Lorraine Kitching, and I am the adult programmer for art classes and teacher for adults here at Arts Alive. I decided to become an artist when I was probably 3. I got a blackboard and chalk for my birthday to save the walls. And then I had a knack. And then my parents sent me to art classes at 8, where I had a brilliant teacher who taught by observation. And I still do that with my students. It builds confidence, and that's what I'm about. The biggest tip I could give to anybody starting out on an artistic journey is to have an open mind and to not be hard on yourself. Art contributes to all sorts of well-being, mental health, just that wonder of the world. I think it connects us back to childhood and that freedom of expression that we have before society tells us we're grown-ups.
The arts have had an amazing impact on the world in general, especially in the last few years. It gives people a way of coping with grief, with disaster, coming to terms with the world in general around them. For a lot of people say to us here at Arts Alive, if I didn't have my 2 hours to myself every week just to come and do art, I would not be able to cope. And that's why we want to keep going.
That was inspiring to know that art has such a big impact, and you really can achieve what you put your mind to. Not only does Arts Alive do just art classes, but Suzanne is also producing a show that happens to be on right now. Head over to Ayla to hear about what else is on this next week for your enjoyment. Head to www.artsalive.com.au.
Thank you, Solomon. As mentioned, I am Ayla, and I'm here to tell you what's on the creative industry in the next week. The latest Crosswire Players production brings you the life and death of almost everybody, on now to the 23rd of June at Fire Station 101. After a few preliminary tries in summoning up a rabbit, the sweeper plunges ahead and creates a young man and a young woman. Stitch in the Switch World comedy at the Ipswich Civic Centre the 22nd of June. You love comedy? This is part of the Australian Comedy Festival, so go and have a chuckle. Last but not least, SUP's Vinyl Countdown Trivia Countdown, the 22nd of June at 10 10 South Station Road Beauval trivia based on the music from the 60s to the 90s. A few fun events for you to go and check out and get your creativity flowing. Here we have some links just so you can be sure you are in the right place at the right time to get your tickets. That's it from my end. Let's head back to Solomon.
Ayla, thank you for that, Ayla. Like she said, go and get your creativity flowing. That is it from us for Season 3, Episode 2. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week.